No hoarding in the apocalypse plus contrast rebirth plus building power plus ease plus many. On the third day of the parallel apocalypse, Lin Fan, an ordinary college student, opened his eyes and found himself forced to attract the attention of zombies and have his classmates transport supplies. There is a reason why this deadly task is on oneself. When one has not traveled, the original owner is a complete scumbag. What should we do in the face of this situation? Lin Fan. I'm not scumbag, listen to my explanation. Shut up, scumbag. A scumbag like you should die. Scumbags say they're not scumbags. Lin Fan. Okay, how about playing like this? Current comprehensive quality 0.6, consumable lifespan, achieving corresponding growth, life expectancy is less than 1 year and cannot be increased, current lifespan. 40 years, Lin Fan. Fill me with joy, thank you. Lin Fan. I am scumbag. No. You're not. You're the most responsible man. I am scumbag. You are a hero. Chapter 1 Deadly Tasks. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Pain. It hurts too much. Lin Fan felt like his head was about to crack open, as if he was growing a brain. Before he could open his eyes, a very unfriendly voice came from him, don't pretend, attract zombies. If you don't go, get out of school for me. Lin Fan opened his eyes and found 4 people in front of him who were about the same age as him and looked like fierce students. Attracting zombies. Get out of school. Isn't it just a holiday? The next second, memories will come like a tide. He traveled to a parallel world, where the virus spread and zombies attacked, marking the third day of the apocalypse. The original owner of his own rebirth, also known as Lin Fan, is a 20-year-old sophomore student in the Department of Mechanical Engineering at Yunqing University. As a college student in the new era, he is familiar with traveling through such things. But from the original owner's memory, it seems that his situation is somewhat just a few hours ago. He used the excuse of moving things to do something inappropriate with the school flower. The reason is that the team where the original owner was located had an infected person the night before, and 3 people died, adhering to the idea that if they don't go crazy, they will die. As you can imagine, he was really beaten to death. If it weren't for my own soul piercing through, it would have turned into a corpse long ago. Others travel through, the system quacks and kills indiscriminately, and the check.in starts invincibly. Even if there is no system, no check.in, being a waste is at most looked down upon by people, mocking and shouting, 30 years in the East and 30 years in the West. You step on the horse and pretend again. People like you should die. Bang. As soon as the words fell, Lin Fan felt his shoulders sink and suddenly lifted his head, glaring angrily at the 4 people in front of him. 2 male teachers and 2 students stared at themselves with a look of indignation, as if they were about to eat themselves. All right. The person in charge called out to take action. This person had sword eyes, star eyebrows, and extraordinary demeanor. Lin Fan knew him, and Han Fengyun, the president of the student union at Yunda, was an excellent student with comprehensive development in morality, intelligence, physical fitness, and aesthetics. Although much inferior to himself, he showed the wisdom and decisiveness that a helmsman should have when the apocalypse came, uniting the frightened students. Lin Fan, I'll give you a chance. In 5 minutes, you'll lead the zombie to the east alone, and I'll take someone to the west to collect supplies. If you come back alive, I won't publicize what you've done, and the food will still be distributed to you according to the rules I've set. As Han Fengyun spoke, he threw a black bag in his hand in front of Lin Fan. A faint fishy smell came from the bag, and Lin Fan knew it was a bloody towel. Food. Fengyun, do people like this also have food to share? Now we. All right. Lin Fan, prepare yourself for 5 minutes. If you don't leave, I don't mind sending you out. Can you give me a cigarette to smoke? Okay. This is the first sentence that Lin Fan said after crossing the country. When they heard his voice, a few people wanted to say something more. Han Fengyun stopped them with his eyes, threw the cigarette in his pocket to Lin Fan, and turned around to take the lead in leaving. Taking a deep puff of smoke, I suddenly felt a chill behind me and turned my head to take a look not far away. A tall and curvaceous girl wearing a black tight-fitting suit with her hair coiled up pulled open her bow and arrow with a cold gaze, staring at her. Lin Fan was so frightened that he trembled and quickly avoided. This person was the school flower of Yunda. Lu Xian. What the hell is this? Unable to help but curse, from the shattered memory, it seems that my predecessor did more than just this scumbag thing. My father gambled on my sick younger brother's education, but unfortunately, I happened to be that younger brother. Due to the negative impact of my family, I was often bullied and have been a very introverted child since childhood. Against this backdrop, Lin Fan's heart was very rebellious. He deceived all his alumni who wanted to go on holiday work or internships from his school into going to unscrupulous factories, causing them to suffer greatly. He also acted as an agent for various loans, leaving many students trapped deeper and deeper. He can be considered a complete scumbag. Thinking about it, I noticed an illusion in front of me. I rubbed my temples, but the illusion in front of me became even clearer. Host. Lin Fan, current comprehensive quality. 0.6, consumable lifespan, achieving corresponding growth. Life less than 1 year cannot be infused, current lifespan. 40 years, life can be obtained by killing creatures. Is this system? Not right. This is not a system, this is a panel. Is this panel too rudimentary? But at this moment, there was no time to worry. 5 minutes was just a cigarette, and Lin Fan quickly observed the situation around him and his own situation according to the original owner's memory. Yunda is located to the west of Yuncheng, far from the core area, and belongs to the urban area. Due to the outbreak of the apocalypse, the school has just had a day off, so there are not many students in the school. The current location is the administrative building closest to the main gate, where you can vaguely see zombies wandering around outside. The fence is made of iron bars, and you can also see zombies who want to enter outside, all of whom have been killed by the team's classmates with explosion-proof shields and weapons. Roughly counting, there are over 40 zombies on the street outside the main gate, which means that one must face such a large number and guide in an unknown direction. Who knows how many zombies and unknown dangers there are? The danger among them is self-evident. To put it bluntly, this is a mission that must die. Han Fengyun's request to do this is not simply to complete the task, but to procrastinate. This task, I can't refuse it yet. It's not that I'm afraid of using a bow and arrow to target my woman. What really matters to Lin Fan is the nail guns around the waist of Han Fengyun and his group. The apocalypse broke out, and Han Fengyun quickly looted several hardware stores around him, pulling members of the Martial Arts Association and Sports Department. He completely mastered this resource, with a total of more than 20 people, to balance the more than 300 people currently present in the school and group everyone into groups. Otherwise, relying solely on verbal skills would have been chaotic long ago. This kind of allocation is limited to the school, so the tainted role of oneself happens to be a necessity when facing crises. Success can inspire people's hearts, failure can promote one's own wrongdoing, making people feel that death is not worth it, so one has no choice, get ready to depart. Just as Lin Fan was still pondering, Han Fengyun spoke to him. In 5 minutes, Han Fengyun's side was fully armed, with as many as 20 people and equipped with 6 explosion-proof shields. He sat in the corner of the wall, his fingertips still holding cigarette butts, as if enjoying his last moments. Okay, this whole mess, right? Lin Fan lost his cigarette butt and picked up the nearby water pipe. Fill me with joy. In the panel, the number of lifespans is rapidly decreasing until only 1 year remains. After 40 years of hard exercise, your physical fitness has greatly improved. Chapter 2. Massacre of Zombies. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Current comprehensive quality. 1.0. The first half of the sentence made Lin Fan secretly happy, while the second half of the sentence made him dumbfounded on the spot. A comprehensive quality improvement of 0.4 has been achieved with a 40-year lifespan. What comprehensive quality has improved by 0.1 in 10 years? The next second, Lin Fan felt a tremendous change in his body. He understood why there was only one column for comprehensive qualities. His comprehensive qualities include all his abilities, including strength, agility, reaction speed, vision, hearing, and even smell, all of which have greatly improved. This sudden growth, without any adaptability, is as if it was really developed by oneself. Lin Fan looked at his arm, and according to the instructions on the panel, his lifespan was only 1 year, but his skin not only had no signs of aging, but it was even smoother than before. There is a feeling of being reborn, and what makes Lin Fan even more delighted is the change in mindset. Let him have a calm and composed demeanor. Let's take the zombies outside the wall as an example. Although he has seen them countless times in various movies, TV shows, and pictures, when he truly sees them, he still feels a sense of panic in his heart. After improving my overall quality, I almost no longer have any fear. Instead, I observe the zombies outside and what kind of reaction I should make if I take action later. Han Fengyun and Liu Xian also discovered changes in Lin Fan. Both of them had been secretly observing Lin Fan's reaction, and the aura on Lin Fan's body made them instinctively stunned. Especially Liu Xian, as a member of the Yunda shooting club, her senses are very sensitive. She noticed that Lin Fan's aura was completely different from what she had just seen. Just now, Lin Fan was a completely lewd man, with a face full of fear and deep unease. However, now Lin Fan's aura is stable, and there is no trace of fear in his eyes. Instead, there is a familiar look in his eyes. Staring at the shooting target. You go out first and lure the zombies away. We need 10 minutes, and in 10 minutes, you'll find a chance to come back. Han Fengyun handed a watch and spoke calmly. He was very satisfied with Lin Fan's reaction, which could buy them more time. Lin Fan took the watch and looked at the time. He didn't have much to say. Who allowed himself to do such a thing? Just through this watch, he already understood that in Han Fengyun's eyes, he was already a dead person, the kind of person who couldn't bear to invest even in a walkie-talkie. With his watch on, Lin Fan left the school with the water pipe in hand. He clattered a few times towards the rolling shutter door on the street, attracting the attention of the entire zombie street. Lin Fan remained calm and composed, his expression unchanged, and opened the black plastic bag he was holding in his other hand. Roar! The smell of blood made all the zombies attack me. After 3 days of observation, the characteristics of the zombies have been understood by the students. Strong in strength, slow in speed, weak in vision, strong in smell and hearing, low in intelligence, ignoring pain, able to continue moving as long as not being hit by a blow, and being caught or bitten can lead to infection. The most important thing is to overcome the fear in your heart. Once fear breeds, it will reduce all your abilities and indirectly increase the abilities of zombies. Dozens of zombies surrounded Lin Fan, and even the survivors in the school were frightened. Lin Fan remained motionless, calculating his distance from the zombies in his heart. Getting closer, just as everyone thought Lin Fan was scared out of his wits, he moved and used a car as an obstacle to jump out of the hood. He quickly broke out of the enclosure and pulled the black bag around all the zombies. And ran out of the S-shape on the street, avoiding all the encirclement, but there were also more and more zombies behind. What a calm way to handle things. As long as you run fast enough, it maximizes your chances of survival. If I had known earlier, give him a walkie-talkie. Han Fengyun witnessed this scene with his own eyes and secretly thought to himself, his eyes narrowed. It was just 2 people who were beaten up last night. Fengyun, shall we take action? Take action. As Lin Fan's figure disappeared into the streets, Han Fengyun and his group also set off. At the corner, a strong sense of crisis struck, and Lin Fan dodged on his side. His decaying arm struck him head-on, hitting him with a backhand blow. With a loud bang, the zombie in front of him collapsed, and zombies from another direction came one after another. Lin Fan's face remained calm, without any fear, and he swung out the water pipe again. The stick rose and fell, and faint words appeared on the panel: obtained abnormal lifespan. 3 months, obtained abnormal lifespan. 3 months, obtained abnormal lifespan. 1 month, abnormal lifespan can be infused into the body to improve overall fitness, with each infusion measured in years. If it is less than 1 year, it cannot be infused. Abnormal lifespan. Roar. Lin Fan was preparing to study when the zombie behind him had arrived. What he didn't know was that by the time he turned into the street, everyone in the school who could see him had already regarded him as a dead person. Lu Xian looked at Lin Fan leaving with a look of hatred on her face, and there was a hint of desperation in her eyes, injecting abnormal lifespan of 1 year, current comprehensive physical fitness. 1.1 At the moment when the abnormal lifespan reached 1 year, Lin Fan naturally continued to fill it up, and instantly his physical fitness improved by 0.1. Don't underestimate this meager 0.1. In an instant, Lin Fan felt a terrifying increase in his body, with reactions, strength, and agility all rising to a higher level. If he had to think before waving the water pipe in his hand, then with the blessing of the panel, any action he makes now is a subconscious neural reflex, and any zombie can only hit one face in front of him. This feeling was so satisfying that Lin Fan looked at the scattered zombies on the street and couldn't help but lick his lips. These are all his. As long as you can kill zombies, you can become stronger. Becoming stronger means doing whatever you want in this world. Obtained abnormal lifespan. 3 months, obtained abnormal lifespan. 3 months, after 3 days of zombie attacks, the vast majority of people experienced panic and despair. Just as they stabilized their minds, Lin Fan had already carried a water pipe and chased after the zombies. Obtained abnormal lifespan. 1 month, obtained abnormal lifespan. June, as Lin Fan continued to harvest zombies, he gained more and more lifespan. Judging from the zombies he killed, the younger the zombies looked, the more lifespan he gained. Just like what he just killed, although the skin has rotted, the age of the zombie can be roughly determined by its appearance and height, and weight. Killing a small zombie that has not yet reached one's waist grants a lifespan of 6 months, while killing an old man's zombie grants a lifespan of 1 month. As the stick rises and falls, Lin Fan cannot perceive the passage of time at all. As long as the number of abnormal lifespans reaches 1 year, he will fill it up on the spot. Quickly, Lin Fan's figure had reached the end of the street, and a convenience supermarket appeared in front of him. What Lin Fan didn't know was that his bravery had been witnessed throughout by some survivors hiding at home. Chapter 3. Return to School. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There are various shops near the school, mostly centered around it. There is a snack shop on the street where Lin Fan just passed by. This snack shop is very popular among male students at Yunqing University, because it is run by a beautiful woman who runs it alone. She is obsessed with her age and is plump and mature, especially with a pair of car lights that make her stand out when cooking. Zhang Lan witnessed the entire process of Lin Fan's massacre of zombies from the window on the 2nd floor. She had already been scared to death since the zombies appeared. Fortunately, the supplies in her own snack shop were safe to eat for a month, but this sense of loneliness and fear made her almost collapse. Especially at night, they roar everywhere, dare not turn on the lights, dare not speak, cannot fall asleep, and curl up tightly by the window, waiting for rescue. 3 days had passed, and rescue did not come. She witnessed several scenes of scarce supplies rushing out of the building and eventually turning into monsters, which made her even more frightened. Just 3 minutes ago, she saw Lin Fan, who looked like a student, carrying a rusty water pipe, like a legendary hero stepping on auspicious clouds, killing everywhere on the street. The zombies were like grass in front of him. The combat effectiveness demonstrated by Lin Fan and the calm demeanor in the face of dozens of zombies made Zhang feel like she had caught a life-saving straw. 10 seconds ago, Lin Fan walked into the convenience store, right across from his own snack shop. Zhang looked out at the zombies lying underground. 3 days of loneliness, fear, and helplessness erupted in an instant. She was so eager to find a living person who could speak that she had to go downstairs to find Lin Fan. Lin Fan entered the convenience store, rewarded the zombie in the cashier with a stick, picked up a large burlap bag, and began to pack supplies. Water, high-calorie snacks, cigarettes, take as much as you want, and with your current physical fitness, carrying a sack half the size of him doesn't affect your movements at all. While flipping through boxes and cabinets, Lin Fan frowned and looked up to see a woman rushing towards him in panic. Immediately lift the water pipe, what's up? Don't do anything. I have no ill intentions. I want to be with you, can I? After 3 days of silence, Zhang Lan's first sentence stuttered. Together. Lin Fan secretly scrutinized Zhang Lan, especially her temperament in car headlights, which were the kind she liked. Can we kill zombies? As soon as Zhang Lan spoke, her face turned pale. She quickly shook her head and the headlights flickered. If it weren't for her improved overall quality, Lin Fan would not have been able to withstand this test. Can you carry something? Seeing that the other party was not capable of killing zombies, Lin Fan easily lifted the full sack and Zhang Lan quickly took it over. But how can her physical fitness compare to Lin Fan? At the moment of lifting the burlap bag, the car lights had already deformed, making it difficult not only to run but also to walk on your back. I can't do anything, why are you following me? I can do it. Is it the one I understand to be capable? Yes. This word seems to have squeezed out of his mouth, very quietly. If it weren't for Lin Fan's amazing hearing, he wouldn't have heard it at all. Lin Fan instinctively looked at Zhang Lan with a shocked expression on his face. Apocalypse, zombies, morality, order. As a college student in the new era, he is familiar with these words, but he never thought that they were really so direct. Half an hour later, in the changing room of an outdoor equipment store, Lin Fan looked satisfied and began to like Zhang Lan, who was out of breath. As a time traveler, he doesn't have any psychological burden, and coupled with the cheats on the panel, he regards this place as just a game in his heart. Since it's a game, play as you please. From the communication, I learned some information about Zhang Lan. She has a husband, but there is a woman outside who never cares about her. The reason is that Zhang Lan has problems. Unable to conceive. This kind of thing was originally the most difficult to talk about, but in this post-apocalyptic era, it has become an advantage. Will you protect me? I protect obedient women. At this point, Lin Fan stopped talking and called Zhang Lan to start tidying up. He changed into a set of outdoor clothes, each person carried a hiking backpack, and then did a simple cleaning. While Zhang Lan was cleaning, Lin Fan was eating while checking his own panel, host. Lin Fan, current comprehensive physical fitness. 1.5, remaining lifespan. 1 year, remaining abnormal lifespan. For months, the zombies he killed are already 50 or 30, and it is evident that with the improvement of his overall quality, the improvement brought by using abnormal lifespan infusion is becoming smaller and smaller. With his current combat effectiveness, a person is completely calm when facing dozens of swarms of zombies, but if there are any more, they will have to fight. Number is up. After all, Lin Fan didn't know whether his physical fitness improved and he could resist the infection of zombies, and he didn't dare to challenge himself. From the current situation, it seems that I am better off alone. With Zhang Lan and 2 mouths, I can live a very good life with my own abilities. In Lin Fan's heart, there was a very bold speculation that killing zombies would result in a too short lifespan. 1 month, 2 months, at most only half a year. If we understand it literally, zombies can only live for 6 months at most, and he doesn't believe it. From various novels, movies, and TV shows he had read, he guessed in his heart that as a new species, zombies, once restricted by life, will evolve. What are you thinking? While thinking, Jean-Lon had already dressed up. In half an hour, her face turned red and she held Lin Fan's arm, her eyes sparkling with light. Do you want to follow me back to school or just live with us? Lin Fan also experienced the apocalypse for the first time, without rebirth or space to hoard goods, so he felt a bit conflicted for a moment. I'll go wherever you go. Jean-Lon, a little bird, is very reassuring, following Lin Fan's sense of security. Next second. Bang! A sound came from a great distance, which is just too normal for the current environment. But Lin Fan was very clear about what the sound was. Gunshots. Hurry up and say. Bring something and go back to school. Okay. Now Jean-Lon can be said to have met Gan Lin for a long time, and of course, she is always obedient to Lin Fan. Without much words, Lin Fan took out 2 engineering shovels from the shelf and gave one to Jean-Lon. A multifunctional dagger was fixed on his belt, and the 2 of them left the street. The engineering shovels were much more effective than water pipes, and they also took out several zombies that were surrounding them. Lin Fan looked at the time and found that it had been 2 hours since he left school. If expected, everyone thought he was dead. When his figure appeared on the street at the school gate, a cry of surprise spread throughout the entire street. Is that Lin Fan? He's still alive. Chapter 4. Are We Brothers? You are listening at novelfull.audio. The appearance of Lin Fan caused a considerable sensation, especially with the change of guns, and the addition of a large car headlight, Jean-Lon. Although wrapped in clothes, it still couldn't conceal the glare of the headlights. Everyone thought he was dead. After all, dozens of people watched him lead away more than 20 zombies with their own eyes. Lu Xian's emotions were complex, and deep down in her heart, she heard the roar of the zombies from the corner. In her eyes, Lin Fan had already been devoured by the zombies, but when Lin Fan arrived at the school gate, with a clean face, brand new clothes, and a calm demeanor, she was stunned. Is this still the scumbag who came to his dormitory with a lewd expression last night? How did he survive on Earth? Isn't he afraid? That's a zombie. How does he overcome his inner fear? There was also a blush on the face of the woman next to her. Lu Xian hated Lin Fan to the extreme in her heart, but for some reason, she couldn't help but want to look at him. Han Fengyun saw a flicker of essence in Lin Fan's eyes, fleeting. The Han Fengyun in front of him is very different from 2 hours ago, and Lin Fan has just experienced this change in momentum, so he is very clear. Power. Only strength can make people so calm in such an environment. Welcome back, our hero. Otherwise, how can they say they can be the president of the student union? Looking at the other person's smile, Lin Fan thought to himself and smiled as well. Leaving aside his predecessor, Lin Fan agreed with Han Fengyun's approach, but Lin Fan was right at the school gate, opening his backpack behind him and revealing the supplies inside while speaking up. President Han, do I have control over what I have sacrificed my life for? When speaking, Lin Fan looked at Han Fengyun with a smile on his face. If the other party didn't agree or had any eyes he wouldn't enter the door and turned around to leave. To his surprise, as sausages, chocolates, Snickers, and self-heating hot pot appeared in front of everyone in front of him became breathless. Not only that, but Lin Fan keenly realized that none of the people looking at him had a very bad expression, not hatred, but looked more like something bad had just happened. Of course, what you put in your life for belongs to you. You have complete control. Han Fengyun smiled, looking indifferent. The fact also confirmed Lin Fan's guess that something did happen during the 2 hours he left. After using his cigarette to smoke around, Lin Fan got the whole story and was robbed. At the department store on the other side of the main military academy gate, a group of people in the cafeteria emptied all the supplies inside the school and even persuaded over 100 people to leave together. And these over 100 people, almost all of them are males, with less than 200 currently staying in school. The composition of this group of people is very complex, not only students, but also teachers, school logistics, owners of nearby shops, and all kinds of people. So the current situation is very unstable due to the school's complex of buildings. Currently, all survivors live near the administrative building, which is an independent area with cafeterias and supermarkets. The land area of Yunqing University is very wide. Due to the newly built building complex in this area, although it is well connected, there are independent doors in each direction, which can effectively prevent zombies. When the apocalypse came, Han Fengyun and his people occupied this place. The school was closed, the administrative building had fewer staff, complete supplies, and a commanding high point. Originally, there were over 300 people who could establish an effective survival point through grouping, but with such an incident, the number of personnel was significantly reduced. In addition, with the supplies being transported away, there has been a sense of panic. The situation was even more complicated than Lin Fan thought. He found a foothold with Zhang Lan, and just as he put down his backpack, a few people came over. Lin Fan's calm expression curved inexplicably at the corner of his mouth. There were 4 people coming, 2 of whom were from his own dormitory, Cui Xian and He Xuankuan, and the other 2 were from the neighboring dormitory, both of whom knew each other. Lin Fan, you're really amazing. Yeah, with so many zombies, how did you survive? You're really amazing. That's for sure. When Lin Fan was in our dormitory, I knew he was the most amazing. Faced with awkward praise, Lin Fan smiled and remained silent. The only thing his predecessor did that was worthy of his conscience was not bringing his roommates with him when doing anything. Whether it's routine loans or unscrupulous factories, he automatically filters out his roommates. From his predecessor's memory, it can be seen that his roommates spend more time together than his family, so he treats his roommates quite well. The important thing is that he and Cui Xian decided privately to go find Lu Xian from his predecessor. Cui Xian has been secretly in love with Lu Xian for a year and feels that he is going to die, encouraging his predecessor. Unexpectedly, when he entered the dormitory, he didn't even touch his hand. He just pulled his clothes and Cui Xian brought the person over. What's even more ridiculous is that the first person to take action was Cui Xian. He was the one who dealt the hardest. The reason is also very simple. Cui Xian is scared to death. He wants to use this method to no longer serve as a patrol team and do something easier. Lin Fan didn't care, after all, it was done by his predecessor. He just treated this world as a game and played it happily. Moreover, through Zhang Lan's case, he was very clear that in such an environmental background, power represents everything. Taking out de Zhongjiu from his pocket, skillfully lighting it, and enjoying a sip with a contented expression, the 4 of them instantly looked out of place, envious at the cigarettes they had taken out and put back. Lin Fan knew what they meant by asking for cigarettes, but he had no intention of giving them. Cigarettes are hard currency and have been completely controlled by Han Fengyun. He Xuankuan is the most addicted to smoking and can't help it anymore. Lin Fan, have one. Not given. With a resolute tone, all 4 of them were taken aback at the same time. They were all people who had been with Lin Fan and had a certain understanding of him. He was not the kind of decisive person. What do you mean? We're in the same dormitory, together for over a year, and we're all brothers. Cui Xian instinctively blurted out with a jealous tone. Pushy. Upon hearing these words, Lin Fan laughed. He couldn't even understand what Cui Xian's brain circuit was thinking, and he was able to say it out loud. Are everyone brothers? Literally, bull makes everyone blow, each smokes their own cigarette. At this point, Lin Fan took a deep breath and looked pleased. Upon hearing these words, Chui Xian erupted on the spot, feeling extremely jealous. He wore brand new clothes, was filled with abundant supplies, and there was also a woman of superior beauty. How does he match up? Lin Fan, you are a traitor with just one bow. Last night, you went to Lu Xian's room to have ulterior motives, and not killing you was already the end of justice. I begged President Han to spare you. Now you don't even give a cigarette, you heartless scumbag. I misread you. Chui Xian's voice was loud, and after shouting it out, the entire campus was fried. Chapter 5. Life is human, death is ghost. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. A stone stirred up 1,000 waves, and Chui Xian's words fell. Everyone's eyes immediately turned to Lu Xian. Lu Xian, one of the top 5 campus beauties of Yunqing University, surprisingly, Lin Fan had ulterior motives towards her the night before yesterday. Lu Xian was originally secretly observing Lin Fan, and everyone's gaze made her feel ashamed in an instant. She turned her head and ran into the administrative building. The anger of wanting to cut Lin Fan and Chui Xian 1,000 times made her burst into tears. Feng Yun, are we? Anyway, if my feelings are right, Lin Fan, like me, gained a power beyond ordinary people in the process of attracting zombies. We watched it quietly and appeared when we couldn't stop the scene. Han Feng Yun, who witnessed the entire process, and Shi Gang from the sports department stood by the window of a room where Lin Fan could be seen, smoking and communicating. But there are too many unstable factors now, and if we can't put an end to it, it will have a great disadvantage for stabilizing this place. I won't do it. Han Feng Yun smiled at the corner of his mouth and his eyes were filled with absolute confidence. With Lin Fan, who has never seen the world before, the first time he gains power, he will definitely want to show off. When I reach out and hold him down, I can stabilize the current situation. Feng Yun is Feng Yun, and the means to manipulate people's hearts are powerful. Shi Gang said with admiration on his face, and Han Feng Yun smiled silently, looking at Lin Fan with contempt in his eyes. A brain is better than brute force. What Han Feng Yun didn't know was that with Lin Fan's terrifying overall physical fitness, vision, and hearing, he had already discovered the position of him and Shi Gang. Although he couldn't hear their relationship clearly, Lin Fan could still guess the subtle expressions reflected through the glass. I'm definitely waiting for myself to embarrass myself. After Chui Xian finished speaking, many people gathered around him, each with a bad gaze, staring at him, but no one spoke first. Lin Fan looked indifferent and lit another cigarette after finishing smoking. If you don't welcome me like this, then I'll go. After Lin Fan finished speaking, she picked up her backpack and prepared to walk outside. Zhang Lan didn't hesitate at all, and she carried her backpack without any reaction throughout the journey. Even when she heard Chui Xian say so, she didn't react. In her heart, there was not a single person here who was brave enough when Lin Fan killed the zombie. Although she didn't think much, she was very clear about it. With Lin Fan's ability, no matter what, it will be very good and getting better and better. In the apocalypse, as long as time goes by. Although a bow is treacherous. I'm afraid it won't be a free gift with inverted stickers then. To become the first person to embrace one's thighs, one must learn to be obedient. Stop. You can't leave. The two people who came with Chui Xian finally spoke up, and Lin Fan turned to look at them. Why can't we leave? You owe me 1,200 yuan. I promise to pay it back this month. I can only leave after I pay it off. Last vacation, you said you started a factory in your hometown and interned there. Not only did you receive a monthly salary of 5,000 yuan, but you also had good meals and were able to learn things. Your work was also easy. I went there for 2 months and worked for 12 hours a day, cooking cabbage and eating water. I lived in a dormitory for 32 people and earned 1,000 yuan in 2 months. You need to explain. The two finally spoke out their purpose. Originally, They had too many unpleasant things to say in their hearts, but instinctively they couldn't say them. The aura on Lin Fan's body has changed, which is a feeling that can only be understood but not expressed in words. To be honest, it means don't care. Despite being surrounded by zombies in the apocalyptic world and so many imposing people, Lin Fan remained calm and composed from beginning to end. When someone is told something ugly, they have long been ashamed or have shown some extreme reaction. Lin Fan has never had this kind of emotion. That's also why so many people surround without anyone making a sound first. But the words of the two made everyone uneasy. Lin Fan's predecessor was not just deceiving someone. Is that factory in Flower City? That's right. Stepping on a horse, I also went there. I'm in the 3rd workshop. So coincidental. I'm in the 5th workshop. We were all deceived by Lin Fan. I can't survive in the factory. I take out loans to work and ride horses. What kind of free loan? Borrowing 2,000 without interest. If it weren't for the end of the world, I wouldn't have paid off 20,000 without riding horses, and my family would have been extremely anxious. Upon hearing these words, Chui Xian and He Junkuan immediately spoke up. Free loan has only one agent at Yunqing University, Lin Fan. What? Trick us into going to the unscrupulous factory. Trick us into taking out a loan. This scumbag has to die. Let him put down all the supplies, get lost, I don't want to be with such scumbags. Damn it, he's such a beast. Although Gong is a female student, he deceives his classmates into going to an unscrupulous factory, tricks everyone into taking out loans, and kills him. Pushi. Just as everyone was shouting angrily, Lin Fan suddenly smiled and looked at Chui Xian. I didn't even know that I was so talented until you said it. I need to explain this, I'm not scumbag. Scumbags always say they're not scumbags. You're scumbags, trash, a fish in the net from the 9-year compulsory education. Do you deserve to go to college? Keep all your supplies and get out of school. Yes, leave something and get out of school. Looking at these faces, Lin Fan's aura changed. What if I don't give it? Aren't you plotting against Lu Xian? Your woman is here, and we. An angry man instinctively shouted out, and halfway through, he fell silent. He was not a student in the school, but the owner of a mobile phone repair shop across from the school. Living in this area, he has long coveted Zhanglan. He doesn't like student girls like Lu Xian, he just likes a good family like Zhanglan. The sudden quiet atmosphere made him hesitant to continue speaking. But in the 3 days of the apocalypse, terrifying zombies, shattered cities, resource scarcity, and despairing emotions, under the pressure of negative energy, at the moment when the repair shop owner spoke up. I can clearly hear the sound of some men swallowing their saliva. When Zhanglan appeared, many people were daydreaming about what was wrong. At the moment when such things were said, something suddenly broke. Upon hearing these words, Zhanglan's face turned pale with fear, but her eyes did not shrink as she looked at all the men present. I was born into Lin Fan's family, and died into Lin Fan's ghost. If you touch me, I will commit suicide. At this point, everyone was stunned because Lin Fan, who was notorious for his misdeeds, not only did not get despised or disgusted, but also won Zhanglan's heart. Faced with Zhanglan's words, Lin Fan smiled faintly and generously reached out to embrace her waist and limbs. Let's go. Don't leave. If you don't leave the supplies today, don't leave. Yes. Without giving an explanation, you're not allowed to go there either. Upon hearing these words, Lin Fan's face turned cold. Chapter 6. Tenfold Return. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Why don't you still have reason if you don't repay the money? If you don't give an explanation, then don't even think about going. Chui Xian was so jealous that he couldn't bear it anymore. Zhanglan's expression of fear but not retreat deeply hurt him. What he looks down upon the most is Lin Fan. Why is Lin Fan better off than himself? Looking at Cui Xian's jealous gaze, as well as the gaze reflected from a distance in the administrative building, waiting for him to embarrass himself, Lin Fan regained his composure and looked at the people around him. There were more than 30 people in groups of 3 or 5, all of whom were male without exception. So many people are surrounding themselves to demand their own supplies, and not all of them have been deceived by their predecessors. Roughly estimating in my heart, there are 15 people who have been deceived by myself, whether it is an unscrupulous factory or a loan scheme, including those who owe money, which amounts to around 70,000 to 80,000 yuan. Isn't it just owing money? Since we need to give an explanation, just repay them the money. Lin Fan smiled slightly and spoke to Lu Neng, who was working nearby but was paying attention here. Mr. Lu, come and have a cigarette. As he spoke, everyone's gaze turned towards a middle-aged man in his 40s, wearing a shirt and trousers. Lu Neng, a well-known entrepreneur in Yuncheng, is responsible for the commercial development in Snack Street near Yuncheng University, as well as the school's infrastructure business. As the end of the world approached, he happened to be attending a meeting at Yuncheng University when a zombie attacked and immediately assimilated into the survivors of the school. Due to experiencing too many things before taking action, Lu Ning maintained an absolute low-key attitude from the beginning, completely being a little transparent. He knew that in such an environment, people like him would trigger a hatred towards the rich and provoke various things, so he constantly lowered his sense of existence. Over time, the accumulation of despair has made some people unable to tolerate him. After all, calling around a billionaire boss like himself is a very satisfying thing for his inner vanity, so his life is not very good. Is there anything else, Lin Fan? Seeing Lin Fan take the initiative to greet him, Lu Ning also smiled. Does Mr. Lu have any cash? Make a transaction. 1 ham sausage costs 10,000 yuan. When it comes to transactions, money is just paper. There is still over 1 million yuan in cash on the car. If you need it, just hold it and use it. Lu Ning seized the opportunity and immediately understood what Lin Fan wanted to do. Without saying a word, he walked over and handed Lin Fan the car key in his pocket. He just took the cigarette and didn't say a word. In the post-apocalyptic era, money is nothing but waste paper. He knows this truth very well. If he takes another 10,000 steps back, even if he really makes a deal, is the thing left in his hand really for him to eat? There is also the aura of Lin Fan. As a reader of countless people, Lu Ning is very clear that at the age of Lin Fan, not to mention being in the apocalypse, even in modern society, facing so many people, he would never be so calm. So he concluded that Lin Fan had a backup, and in this environment, what gave people such confidence was either resources or strength. In addition, the aura of Lin Fan leaving without hesitation indicates that even if the other party is not sociable, they can still live well in this environment. It's better to have a smooth sailing relationship, maybe one's life will be better. Mr. Lu is indeed a big business with a certain pattern. Are you interested in going out with me to develop? Without any hesitation, Lin Fan took the car key from Lu Ning's hand and instructed Zhang Lan to go to the car to get cash. He liked Lu Ning as a smart person. If you don't mind my old arms and legs, Lu Ning is willing to work hard. Looking at the billionaire who had no heirs and respected him respectfully, Lin Fan not only did not have any discomfort, but also accepted it calmly. I owe you 1,200, right? I'll give you 10 times back, 12,000. You took 8,000 less from the factory, didn't you? I'll supply you 10 times more, you're 20,000, right? I'll give you 10 times as much. Have you all counted it out? I'll give it back 10 times as much, although it's not necessary. Let me say one more thing. I'm not a scumbag. After the money was paid off, Lin Fan didn't talk anymore. He put on his backpack and called Zhang Lan and Lu Ning to walk towards the door. Don't leave. Cui Xian roared out, and Lin Fan's good temper was also polished away. If this continues, I won't be polite. Is losing money enough? If you don't leave the supplies today, you won't be able to leave. Lin Fan was not used to the other party at all. He strode forward, and Zhonglun and Lu could closely follow him. We have so many people, are we afraid that you won't be able to do it alone? The envy and jealousy in Cui Xian's eyes turned into substance, and he gritted his teeth and grabbed Lin Fan. Brush. The next second, blood splatters everywhere. Ah! Killed someone. Killing. Not only the people around, but also Zhonglun and Lu Ning following behind Lin Fan couldn't help but tremble. Lin Fan took action without any warning and killed a living person on the spot. Obtained lifespan. 15 years, current lifespan. 16 years, killing Cui Xinlin Fan had no psychological burden, and the increase in lifespan over the past 15 years gave him a very happy sense of achievement. Roar. The smell of blood made the zombies outside start to gather towards the nearby area, and the roaring sound fell, completely losing control of the entire campus. Shwa shwa shwa. Just as everyone was frightened, Han Fengyun rushed out of the administrative building with a few people, holding nail guns, and quickly dealt with the zombies approaching the iron fence, coming to Lin Fan with a gloomy face and a condescending attitude. Lin Fan, you killed someone. If there were still some people in the school who were in charge of their own affairs before, then from the death of Cui Xian and Han Fengyun leading people to deal with the zombies, the entire survivors' attention in the school has been focused on Lin Fan. The appearance of sitting on the stone platform smoking with a calm and indifferent expression after the murder caused panic among everyone. President Han, don't use a questioning tone until the situation is clarified. I'm not your servant. Faced with Han Fengyun's momentum, Lin Fan is not at all illusory. So, what do you mean by not understanding things clearly? To everyone's surprise, Han Fengyun patiently communicated with Lin Fan. This incident completely exceeded his expectations. He never thought that Lin Fan's murder would be so decisive. 1 second, he patiently explained to the other party, and the next second, he directly burst into injury, which does not match his judgment of Lin Fan. This person, it's because he has taken a blind eye. And judging from his speed and strength in killing Cui Xian, he may not be able to beat him. I live here in accordance with President Han's rules. The rule you set is that personal belongings have independent control. In front of so many people, I have already asked you. You said I have control over the things in my backpack, but Cui Xian is going to grab them. Everyone has seen this. I couldn't control myself and killed him. That's the whole thing. Chapter 7. Introduction to Combat. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 8. Proactively visiting the door. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. When he returned in the afternoon, Han Fengyun tirelessly organized the distribution of supplies and counting of food, which was also a time for everyone to rest after the end of the world. He used an hour to distribute cigarettes, food, and alternate rest through a rotation system. Lin Fan has nothing to do, just what he did today. No one has any objections to what materials he took. Zhonglun, Lu Ning, and he found a place with a good view. 3 boxes of self-heating hot pot, ham sausages, lunch meat, boiled eggs, drinks, and Lu Ning poured more than half a bottle of Mauzi, laughing and talking, feeling really comfortable. This has driven everyone crazy with envy. The distribution of resources is relatively fair and effective. Those who do heavy work eat better, while those who do light work eat worse. If like the few people who go out later, they will receive 2 bags of instant noodles, a box of milk, and a few cigarettes. But no one eats better than Lin Fan and the others. It's not Lin Fan that everyone envies. After all, Lin Fan has already gone out 3 times today. This is the end of the world. There are unknown crises and zombies outside. I envy Zhonglun and Lu Ning. The 2 of them didn't do anything for a whole day. Lu Ning sat there for a whole day, even brewing tea and drinking, smoking a heavy 9. Zhang surprisingly ate potato chips while listening to music with headphones after charging her phone. The end of the world has arrived, and under the influence of a certain magnetic field, electrical appliances can be used normally, but all communication functions and networks are no longer functional. A man and a woman, without any sense of panic or crisis in the apocalypse. All of this is because of Lin Fan. Brother Fan, let me do nothing for a whole day. Lu feels really sorry. Lu Ning drank the wine with a sigh on his face. This feeling was very good, but he also knew that from Lin Fan's performance today, he would definitely not let himself eat for free. Mr. Lu, calling me brother means you're ruining me. Everything I enjoy now is brought by you, brother shouting, I'm not at a loss. Identify and manage people. Lin Fan said 4 words, and he believed that Lu Ning could definitely understand. Lu, willing to serve. Lu Ning's eyes flickered with a hint of brilliance. With just 4 words, he had understood everything and his perception of Lin Fan deepened once again. He had already learned that Lin Fan had gained powerful power. It is very normal for young people to be ambitious and arrogant, but Lin Fan did not. He has been fighting in the mall for many years, and the 4 words are the secret to his success. Lin Fan, you're so kind. Zhang saw that the two of them were no longer talking, so she watched as Lin Fan spoke, her eyes sparkling. Know me well, after dinner, quickly find a room to warm up the bed. Upon hearing these words, Zhang face turned red, without the shyness of a young girl. She nodded seriously, not caring about Lu Ning beside her. Lin Fan, I'm sorry. As a roommate in the dormitory, I shouldn't slander you, and I shouldn't have done such a thing in the morning. Please forgive me. He Junkuan approached Lin Fan with a bewildered expression on his face, afraid to approach, and sincerely apologized. Okay, I forgive you. Lin Fan was eating while speaking, which made He Junkuan look up with a low expression and a surprised expression on his face. I accept your apology and forgive you. You can leave now. Aren't you responsible for the surveillance on the west side? Don't leave your post for too long. He Junkuan's face changed once again, it was very exciting. Lin Fan continued to do his own thing without paying any attention. How could he possibly forgive the other party? The reason for apologizing to himself is because the other party is now addicted to smoking and hungry, and coupled with the daytime affairs, Han Fengyun, when arranging work, more or less targeted to secretly show goodwill to himself. To put it simply, He Junkuan has no choice but to bow down to himself. This kind of person, whenever they encounter problems on their own, will definitely be the first to step out and cause trouble. Accepting his apology is that Lin Fan is not a bloodthirsty person. He knows the right side, the road is clear, and he goes his own way. He doesn't understand the reason, and he won't mind too much about his own life expectancy. He Junkuan hesitated to speak, and Cui Xian's death was still vivid in his mind. He dared not say much, so he left with a disheveled face. Not long after he left, a man with a height of 1.8 meters, a shaved head, a dark blue sportswear, hands in pockets, smoking a cigarette and a tough appearance walked over. This person's name is Wang Lei, the president of the Martial Arts Association of Yunqing University. He has won awards in various competitions and comes from a martial arts family. He is responsible for the safety work of the entire school at night. The reason why people appear less crowded during the day is because it is more dangerous at night than during the day, so extra manpower is needed and sufficient sleep should be maintained during the day. Although he heard various versions, Wang Lei was surprised to see the luxurious dinner in front of Lin Fan. He threw his cigarette butt and reached out his hand, meet Wang Lei. Lin Fan also stood up with a smile and generously extended his hand, Lin Fan. What does it feel like to kill someone? I didn't expect Wang Lei's first sentence to be like this. Killing is killing. Ha ha ha, it's a bit interesting. If you need anything tonight, come to me. Sit down and have some food together. Just finished eating, I need to arrange for tonight's manpower first. There will be a meeting later. The simple conversation between the two almost caught everyone's attention, and the whispers around were all about what happened during the day, especially the survivors who witnessed Lin Fan's murder. Looking at the food in front of Lin Fan, I feel that Han Fengyun and Wang Lei's attitude towards him is envious of anyone. The stories of those inappropriate people were also discussed in the crowd before, but it was different from during the day. Lin Fan's terrifying hearing can clearly hear everyone's discussion. What kind of thing is that? Everyone is a student, and Lin Fan must have been fooled by the factory owner. He must not know the true situation inside. Otherwise, with Lin Fan's character, how could such a thing be done? In the end of the world, money is just waste paper. Even if you give it to you now, you can't spend it. It's like Lin Fan, who spent thousands of yuan in advance and doesn't need to pay it back. This kind of good thing has happened to you. What makes Lu Xinqing stand tall? She's just wearing the name of the school flower and knows how to pair with a few clothes. What's so amazing? No one is worse than anyone when she's naked. Look at the women around Lin Fan, how moisturized they are. Even if they have a physique that's 100 times stronger than Lu Xian, who would go find her? She's so skinny. Lin Fan couldn't help but laugh as he listened. These things were really done by himself. He is getting more and more fond of this place. After resting, Han Fengyun will gather his team to discuss tomorrow's decision-making division of labor, and then he will go to rest. Lu Xian was frightened and didn't rest well all night due to the incident with Lin Fan the previous day. Today, she wanted to see Lin Fan's fate again. She couldn't bear it at noon and went to rest. Watching Lin Fan's dinner and various versions of gossip, she felt very uncomfortable in her heart. Especially when Lin Fan's decisiveness in killing made her extremely angry, there was also a sense of fear. And the recognition and sense of security that I dare not face myself. Chapter 9. Publicly criticizing school flowers. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In addition to the few brought back by Han Fengyun today, there are over 180 people who work in 3 shifts, including necessary medical staff and water and electricity technicians. Originally there were over 300 people, but today there was a theft incident, leaving only 180 people who were much weaker. There are 105 males. There are 84 women. 60 people are white, 30 people are middle, and 90 people are night. Most women are arranged during the day. This arrangement is in the middle, where the people at night have already woken up and the people during the day have not all fallen asleep, so it is appropriate to help monitor such work. Lin Fan adheres to the concept of enjoying the cool under the big tree, and has always only cared about the attitude of a few key figures. Han Fengyun, Wang Lei, and Zhu Jiang, who just handed over a cigarette. Zhu Jiang appears to be in his 30s, not tall, and has a strong physique. He is an external staff member of Yunqing University, mainly responsible for coordinating affairs between the school and external companies and units. No one knows exactly what he does, but what everyone knows is that this person has a great reputation outside the school and the outside world, loves extreme sports, and has participated in many competitions. These 3 people can basically decide everything in the current school. Lin Fan had a brief conversation with the other party and felt that he was a very talkative person. Zhu Jiang has a profound understanding of Lin Fan. Since he opened his eyes, almost all the topics revolved around this unknown Lin Fan. Attracting zombies, moving goods, killing people, moving goods again, quiet and silent. Especially without mentioning the key points, based on this person is not simple. From the previous communication, Lin Fan basically talked about eating, drinking, playing, and being a woman. Through observation and communication, he judged that Lin Fan is a person with delicate thoughts. Just talking about these things doesn't match his character. As a public relations manager in the school, Zhu Jiang is very clear that this is a manifestation of Lin Fan's distrust of the people here. Han Fengyun praised Lin Fan for a while, then explained the function of the crystal, counted the current materials and some personnel transfers, and finally turned his attention to Lin Fan. Lin Fan, do you have any better suggestions? This sentence once again attracted everyone's attention to Lin Fan. It's nothing, I feel like President Han is very right. Accept the arrangement. I really hope to hear your opinion. You have the most contact with zombies. Han Fengyun continued to speak, which shocked many people in their hearts. After all, in the past 3 days, everyone seems to have become accustomed to following Han Fengyun's decisions, and even if there is a disagreement, they will discuss it as soon as possible. There is no opinion, but there is a suggestion. Can you talk about it? Women don't have to set traps, organize supplies, or wander around carrying bows and arrows. It's useless, and... What do you mean? Before Lin Fan could finish speaking, Lu Xian became angry. Among everyone present, only she and a few girls from her own club were wearing bows and arrows. With strong targeting. Literally, if you don't listen, it's okay. Lin Fan shrugged his hands and looked indifferent. You. Lu Xian. Han Fengyun immediately stopped, feeling that Lin Fan's speech was not appropriate for any occasion, and there was a feeling that he deliberately wanted to attract Lu Xian's attention. Lin Fan, tell me why. There's no reason, obey the arrangement. Lu Xian apologized to Lin Fan. Han Fengyun's gaze turned and he spoke to Lu Xian. Lu Xian was really angry. Lin Fan had done such a thing to her, and he still wanted to apologize to her. Dream it. Impossible. I won't apologize to someone like this. It's never possible. Why not use a bow and arrow? Didn't I kill zombies with a bow and arrow? The trap we set. How many have been killed? How many arrows have been used? How much inventory are there now? How far is the distance when killing zombies? Single zombies or groups of zombies? What traps were set up? Those things have power that can't even kill people, and you still want to kill zombies. Don't you know that as long as you don't blow your head, zombies have the ability to continue moving? Moving supplies. In this situation, how many supplies can be organized? Ask the girls around you, what did they do today? Just as everyone thought this matter would lead to a battle of lack of nutrition, Lin Fan retaliated on the spot, and Lu Xian's anger instantly subsided in half. What are you? Think about it yourself. Besides you, that girl didn't carry anything. She was playing around with her bow and arrow all day long, posing like I did. She didn't burn calories all day long, and even ate and drank for free under the title of a bow and arrow coach. I only practice this myself. Can I quickly become aware that there is no poo here? What can I learn from 2 days a day? What is the most important thing in dealing with zombies? It's about overcoming the fear in our hearts. You are the person who looks scared when you see a zombie. You have the best treatment and the least amount of work in the whole school. Do you still have the face to question me? His Lin Fan's mouth was like a machine gun, pressing against Lu Xian's face and opening it wide. The knives were all in the main artery, killing her heart every word. After speaking, everyone's gaze towards Lin Fan and Lu Xian changed. Zhu Jiang gave Wang Lei a glance, which had many meanings. As for Lu Xian, not only girls, but also men have changed. Previously, it was because there was not such a shortage of supplies in the school, so even if someone had an idea in their mind, they wouldn't say it. But now it's different. Everyone has a scale in their hearts. What Lin Fan said. Lu Xian is indeed the person who does the least work and enjoys the most. Starting from now on, cancel Lu Xian's daily distribution of supplies and the practice of archery. Lu Xian's distribution of supplies is the same as everyone else, without any special circumstances. Han Fengyun gave Lin Fan a deep glance. This guy's mouth is not inferior to his own. More than 300 people, able to stabilize, have already expended all their energy, and what the other party said is correct. In this regard, I have indeed neglected Lin Fan. Can you now share your suggestions? Ignoring Lu Xin's reaction, Han Fengyun turned his head to look at Lin Fan. President Han has a high opinion. Let me share my thoughts. There's no need to set up so much night power. The more people there are during this precious time, the better. My suggestion is to work together. Lin Fan also disregarded Lu Xin and expressed his own thoughts. How to go hand in hand. Except for a small number of people, everyone started moving and divided into 3 batches. Rescue, exploration, hunting. Rescue is the dormitory outside, exploration is going to further areas for inspection, hunting is killing zombies, not only expanding our safety range, but also an important means of obtaining crystals. Women who don't want to fight are responsible for licking their bags, especially in the zombies' minds. Lin Fan's calm words instantly caused a huge uproar. Chapter 10. Group Rescue, Fairy School Flower. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Faced with various doubts and feelings of fear, it has nothing to do with oneself. Han Fengyun immediately understood what Lin Fan meant and began a new round of discussion and decision-making. I have already highly recognized Lin Fan's abilities in my heart, and the other party's proposal is very forward-looking. After some discussion, everyone here was divided into 4 large groups, and Lin Fan gained the identity of an additional group leader. There are many zombies on the other side of the dormitory building, covering a large area. Lin Fan and Han Fengyun are responsible for rescuing the dormitory building. Han Fengyun is responsible for the male dormitory, while Lin Fan is responsible for the female dormitory. The exploration was led by Zhu Jiyang, and the task of slaughtering zombies was entrusted to a group led by Wang Lei. Soon, 26 people were assigned to Lin Fan to be responsible for tomorrow's rescue work. Among them, there are 17 women and 9 men, based on the fact that although there are many zombies in the dormitory area, due to venue limitations and Lin Fan's current strength, he and Han Fengyun have been assigned more female members. You are responsible for bringing a larger bag to lick the bag at the back, flipping through the crystals, and handing over all the zombies to me. Lin Fan is too lazy to talk nonsense. He will definitely not give up the important way to improve by killing zombies to others. But it's different when this sentence falls into the ears of those assigned to his group. Part of these 26 people witnessed the entire process of Lin Fan's murder, and part of them heard various gossip. In their hearts, they were more or less unwilling to form a team with Lin Fan. After this sentence, all the anxieties, fears, and distrust in my heart disappeared. No need to kill zombies. No need to experience danger. Zhang Lan didn't say much nonsense. Lin Fan's residence was already prepared and renovated using an office. She doesn't need to work during the day, his work is all at night. And careful Zhang Lan has observed that many girls and women are already eager to be interested in Lin Fan. If she doesn't take the initiative, she will lose favor. The night was peaceful, Zhang Lan was exhausted to death, and Lin Fan's spirit was getting better and better. On the 4th day of the end of the world, what Lin Fan did not expect was the appearance of crystals and the occurrence of murder. The night before yesterday, 4 people had already appeared wearing crystals, namely Wang Lei, Zhu Jiyang, and Wu Gang beside Han Fengyun. There are also people who run out on their own to try and never come back. In the post-apocalyptic era, people's desire for power will grow in a terrifying way, especially after witnessing Lin Fan's murder. They can still live such a fulfilling life, as the elegant school flower. Lu Xin has lost her usual aura after a night. Setting aside her skin and aura, no one is accustomed to her in such an environment. As soon as I got up, I was arranged to move tables, chairs, and benches, reinforce the iron fence, and build a long defense line. Unlike the previous 3 days, waking up and washing your face, drinking a glass of milk, stretching, and teaching more than 10 girls how to practice archery like a teacher. Lu Xin felt a variety of flavors in her heart, and looked at Zhang Lan who was drinking milk and eating chocolate, feeling envious in her heart. She also wanted to be like Zhang Lan, but she was assigned to be in the same group as Han Fengyun. She was very clear that Han Fengyun had little interest in women, and he pursued a sense of power and control. The cruelty in the post-apocalyptic era exceeded Lu Xian's imagination. After the woman's halo was removed, her jealousy was exchanged for various forms of targeting. Lin Fan has eaten breakfast for more than 20 people alone, including eggs, chocolate, milk, and overnight consumption. If he doesn't replenish his energy, what if his legs become weak for a while? Not only did he eat it himself, but he also distributed cigarettes to those who knew how to smoke, and each person was given a pack of breakfast powder, which attracted everyone's attention. After grouping, most people were grateful that they didn't get along with murderers. Although the female culprits were separated, although Lin Fan's approach won a lot of favor, it wasn't so easy to tear off the labels they were labeled with. Lin Fan didn't care about the gaze of others either. After enjoying breakfast, he walked towards the girls' dormitory with his people. The next action stunned everyone. Lin Fan took a loudspeaker from Zhang Lan's hand and shouted upstairs, "The people inside are listening. It's not zombies knocking on the door later, it's rescue. I don't want to explain it to you, I don't care if the door doesn't open." Immediately, a person rushed in and easily flipped through the iron door of the dormitory area, ignoring the people behind them. They greeted the zombies wandering inside directly, obtained abnormal lifespan. 1 month, obtained abnormal lifespan. 3 months, Lin Fan was completely immersed in killing zombies, and had no idea how many pairs of eyes were looking at him with what kind of emotions. Especially Lu Xian, in this post-apocalyptic environment where the order collapsed and despair grew, the sudden appearance of a person who killed everyone in all directions gave people such a strong sense of impact. The group members who originally had emotions in their hearts couldn't help but be pleasantly surprised. There's no need to go through danger at all. Don't be too far away from him, let's go find the crystals inside the zombie. Lu Ning immediately realized that Zhang Lan definitely didn't need to work, and his job was to see how these people performed during the licking process. Especially when facing the performance of crystals, this is also the task assigned to him by Lin Fan. To recognize people. There are a total of 12 dormitory buildings, each with 5 floors and 10 dormitories on each floor. Each dormitory houses 6 people, and each building has about 300 people. When the end of the world comes, it happens to be a holiday, so in fact, there aren't so many people. Lin Fan sweeps room by room, with zombies becoming lifespans, and without zombies, the next room. The people behind him search for all the things that can be used in the dormitory. The survival rate of this building is too low. When we reached the 4th floor, we didn't see any living people, and all the remaining survivors turned into zombies. More than 20 people, like locusts, swept through the entire building. There were too many strange things in the girls' dormitories, as well as many small snacks and meal substitutes, all of which were very good supplies. Finally, after Lin Fan had killed dozens of zombies, he felt the presence of a living person and without saying a word, kicked him away and found his breath in the bathroom. Bang! Ah! Help! Help! I'm here to save you. In front of Lin Fan's eyes, a tall and rainy girl in sportswear appeared. The appearance of live people immediately caught the attention of the small team, and several boys quickly arrived at the dormitory. Is this the fairy school flower? One of them couldn't help but say something, and Lin Fan was taken aback. Fairy. Just like this, the maid is not qualified enough. There is still a strong stench in the bathroom. As the 2 girls and Qin Shishir spoke a few words to calm their emotions, Lin Fan also saw the full face of the girl.